Hi Hannah, thanks very much for your email. As you can see, it's come through smashing to me. Notice that the file extension is XLS, which is tells me it's an Excel spreadsheet, which is wonderful. I'm just going to download this document. And I can see that you've completed the exercises. So sheet 1, I'm just going to click in certain cells, just have a look. And I can see there, yeah, although I'm opening this in a different package, I can see you put A1 plus A plus 2 plus A3 to add these three together. Similarly here you've taken C2 away from C1, and here E1 times E2, that's great, and here G1 divided by G2, spot on, fantastic, that's wonderful. And over here we've got the months of the year which you've typed in, and down here the days each month, and down right at the bottom we've got a formula which is B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6, etc. And that again is spot on, exactly what I asked you to do. And in the third sheet you've set this up nicely, you've put done some nice formatting on there, some different colours, and I can see the formulas that you put in. So I needed a formula to add all of these up. I can see, and in my mind I'm going 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, that's obviously 20, and I can see the formula put in here. Let's have a look at this one. Total hours, so that should be B5, C5, D5, E5, F5, G5. Yep, spot on. Right on that one. All the sixes, row 6, and this one should be adding up these three numbers. Yep, spot on. And now I should have formulas that add each of these up. B4, B5, B6. This should be C4, C5, C6, D4. And across here, something that adds everything in this column. Wonderful. And now I'm looking at the formulas you put in here to multiply by the rate of pay. 1, so that should be H4 multiplied by I1, which you've done. And similarly, H5 times I1. Each time you've multiplied by I1. Yep, that's wonderful. Absolutely spot on. Well done you, that's terrific. Now, in today's session, I'm going to just take us on a little bit further, and these are the issues, these are the things we're going to deal with today. So one of the things that I just want to bring your attention to, because we're not quite sure where we're going with this, I thought it would be a good idea to focus on the learning that is prescribed by the British Computer Society. So if you type in British Computer Society, it takes you to this particular page here. And one of the things, the British Computer Society, they're the people that produce the different awards, and it could well be you might have a qualification with these already, but I don't think you do have. So the qualification that I'm particularly interested in is the one that's to do with ECDL, so the European Computer Driving License. And so intermediate, I think it'll be under this one. Right, so this is now called the ICDL. When I taught it, it was called the European Computer Driving License. And there were two awards. There was level 2 and level 1. Level 2 is the key stage 4 skill. So that's where I think that I'm focusing. So what I'm looking for was a syllabus that we could actually use. So I'm going to put level 2 spreadsheet, syllabus, British Computer Society, ECDL. Let's see what comes up. ECDL module spreadsheets, and here it is. And these are the key things that I'm trying to cover. So you can see the actual spreadsheet itself is divided into different aspects. So we've got using the application, things about cells, things about formulas and functions, things about formatting, charts, preparing outputs, and so these are the sort of things I'm aiming to cover in what we're doing today. So you can pick your way through some of the things as we're going through that. So moving on. Thought we'd have a little bit of fun with patterns today. So I'm going to open up a new spreadsheet document and just reflect on some patterns. So you probably know from your, I'm certain you know about number patterns. So if I were to type start some number patterns here, 2, 4, 6, you probably know the next number is going to be an 8. Now, if I highlight these cells here and use my spreadsheet to tell me what the next number should be, so I've highlighted all 3, grab this little right corner and drag down, you'll notice it predicts what the numbers should be without me typing them in. Same thing, 3, 6, 9, 12. So highlight these, grab that right hand corner and drag down. Easy ones, 5, 10, 15, 20. Grab and go down. So one of the exercises I'd like you to have a go at today, just having a go at those sort of number patterns, simple number patterns. I'm going to add another sheet and carry on down at the bottom with the next one. So here are some sort of word patterns. If I type in mun, chew, wed, let's see how good the spreadsheet is at seeing where I'm going with this. I've highlighted 3, grab the right column and go down, and it seems to know that's how I want to write my word. You can see how this might save you a lot of time in terms of efficiency. I know for the exercise I set you typed in the months of the year, so January, February, March. I think you need at least 3 of these in for it to work. Highlight 3, grab and go down, and it's automatically putting those in for us. I wonder if it works with, let's see if I do capitals and just do Jan, Feb, Mar, April, May, June. You can see how I want it to proceed, and it has worked again. So again, another exercise, just have a go at that particular one yourself. Next, probably noticing what we're trying to do is to copy things down in different ways now. And I'll just add another sheet to do this. I'm going to put in some formulas now, and let's see how it goes when we're trying to copy formulas down. So in this spreadsheet, we've got 3 students who've got a couple of results, and what I want to do is to find out what the total will be for the two results. So if I click in here, you probably will remember from the way we set this up, I can add these two numbers up by referring to these two cells with cell references. By start off my formula with equals, so it's B4 plus C4. Now if I wanted to do that same formula as you did in those first sort of exercises, if I want to put that same formula down here, I can take that formula and I can copy it and paste it into the one below. And it seems to has automatically put the number 10 plus 10 is 20. Let's check what it's done. So in this cell, it's actually written in for us B5 plus C5. In the one above, it put B4 plus C4. That's the one we entered manually. So it looks as if that pattern is actually being repeated as we go down. So without tying it to it, it's made an adjustment for the fact that I'm adding up the next row. Just out of curiosity, I wonder if we grab these two cells here and pull down on that right box, whether it will do the same thing. So it appears to have done right. 15 plus 15 is 30, and it seemed to have put that formula in automatically for us. If I were to take those cells, it's meaningless really to go a little bit further down, but I could add others up. And you notice there's nothing in these cells at the moment, but it seems to have been repeating all the way down. It seems to be repeating that formula all the way down, making adjustments for the cell. So it looks as if copying does work in that regard. Of course, we've only tried that out with adding two numbers together. Does it work with multiplying? So I'll just put times here. Let's try it out. So if I click in here, this time I want to multiply B4 multiplied by C4. So remember the symbol for multiply is the asterisk, and it seemed to have worked. Now on this particular spreadsheet, when I've entered enter, it's actually trying to help me, suggesting autofill, and it's suggesting that it could put those in for me automatically. If I accept that, it will take you, but I don't know whether your spreadsheet will do that, so I'm going to cancel that. So we can see 5 times 5 is 25. Let's see what happened when I grab that and drag down. Now I don't know about you, but I find it difficult to multiply 15 by 15 in my head to know if that's correct. So let's change these numbers to numbers that I can easily deal with. 2 multiplied by 2, I know that 2 by 2 is 4, and it's altered it, so that seems to have been working out. I can do 10 by 10, I know that's 100, I can do that easily in my head. So here we are, and it looks as if automatically it's worked. So let's see whether it works with divide, and here equals B4 divided by C4. I'll just type that in myself. Error. What did I do wrong? Let's go again. B4. I put a times in there by mistake. B4 divided by C4. 5 divided by 5. Let's do something again. It's obvious. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So that's worked. And I'm going to copy this formula down as well. That seems to be working okay. 10 divided by 5. 2 divided by 1. And it seems to be working. And again, when I click in these cells, we can see it's automatically adjusted. So adding, dividing, or multiply, add, divide, tap. So we're trying to build up formulas in an efficient way now. So if what we've done there in terms of productivity is made things a little bit quicker for ourselves by either copying and pasting the formula down, or by clicking and dragging. Okay. On the exercise I gave you last time, you will remember that, and I'll bring this spreadsheet up so you can actually see this again. So what I've done, I brought in the spreadsheet that you produced, and I've stripped out where the formulas were. And I'm going to try and do things in a different way on this particular sheet, just for efficiency, for productivity reasons. On your on the formatting bar up at the top, I pointed out perhaps last week that we've got this thing which is called functions, but this symbol here is called sigma, and that is can be used for adding numbers up. So here is something else that we could have done. I want to add these numbers up. If I click in this particular cell, yes, I could type like you did, B4 plus B5 plus B6, but instead of that, I'm going to just click on this symbol, and that one, the first one I come to, because that is sigma and that means sum, if I just click there and choose sum, it's actually going to add those up for me. So it's added those numbers up just how I want. So let's do that again all the way across. I click in here, click in on the function, choose sum. It's saying, what do you want to add up? So this function, this is known as a function, as opposed to a straightforward formula. Sum, it's saying, whatever you put in brackets here, I will find the sum of. So I'm highlighting those three cells, and you can see it's now put C4 colon C6. So it's finding out the total from C4 to C6, the sum of those. I can do that longhand. If I click in here, I can type in equals sum, and if you notice, the spreadsheet is actually trying to help me. Just by actually typing in equals sum, it's actually saying, do you want to add from D4 to D6? Well, I do. So I can click on that and accept it. Similarly, click in here, equals sum, and I can again go down and accept what I want it to do there. Similarly, now I don't need to carry on going all the way across like that, doing one at a time. I can actually grab that particular cell, copy it, and paste here and here. If you look, if I click in here now, we can see the formula is built up, the sum of F4 to F6. And if you can't see, the other thing that a spreadsheet does, if you double click on it, it actually highlights and shows me what that formula is actually doing. So it's brought up sum of F4 to F6. Similarly, if I click here, double click here, it's using colours to highlight the fact that it's added cells G4 to G6. So to recap what we've done there, we can actually use this sum function there, which we brought up. We can actually then copy and paste across. We can build a sum function up by typing in equals sum, and the spreadsheet will actually help us to do that. Now in this cell here, I needed to add across the numbers here, not down but across the row. So if I click in here and I type in equals sum, again, it's trying to help me. It's trying to say, do you want to add up from B4 to G4? Yes, I do. So I'm going to click on this and I accept it. And for efficiency, I'm going to grab that cell now and just drag down and it's added all the numbers down. Let's have a check though, because I always like to check whether it's done what I wanted to. Double click in here and it shows me it's added across here. I didn't want it to add in anything that was in cell A, and again the spreadsheets kind of work that, it kind of knows that somehow. It's working intelligently for me. And this last one has added up all the totals from each of the days of the week and put the answer there. Now, this step is where I'm actually going to be referring to something known as absolute cell referencing. The way I got you to set that spreadsheet up last time was to multiply each of these, the total hours, by this. So what you did, you clicked in here and you went equals that multiplied by this, and it put the answer in there. Now watch what happens if I click and think, I'll try and be clever now, I'll try and copy that formula down. Let's see what happens. If I click here and drag down, well, we can see that things have gone pear-shaped. It's not worked. And when I look in each cell, let's see what's actually happening there. So if I click in here, it's multiplied by, what I wanted it to do, I wanted it to multiply H5 by I5. Now, it's taken the H5, that's what I wanted, but it's actually multiplied by I2, so it's multiplied by this cell, because it's not been intelligent enough to work out that pattern as I go down that I wanted it to change. So that didn't seem to work. So what we have to do to get around that is known as something as absolute cell referencing. If I click in here now, so that it always refers to this, I've got to use this absolute cell referencing, which I build up with the dollar signs. So in order to do it, I click in, I type in equals this, so that bit I'm alright copying down that one. This is the bit that needs to stay the same. So when I want this to stay the same, I use dollar symbol. So I type in the cell reference exactly the same. So I know the cell reference is I1, but to make it always referred to that same cell, I type in a dollar before the I and a dollar sign before the 1. Now when I copy that cell down, so you can see that it actually says here, it says H4 multiplied by $I, $1. Now when I grab this and drag down, it has worked. And just to prove that it's worked, let's alter some numbers, because again, let's alter them on this. So let's put ones in across the board. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So multiplying 5 days of the week, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 6 days of the week. I'm wondering why it said 6. Working Saturday as well. Okay, so we've got 6 hours worked. 6, well, I can't multiply 6.95 in my head, so let's change that to a different number. Let's change that to 5. 5 6s are 30, so it has worked there. And because it's a live spreadsheet, all of these numbers are altering as well. So that's absolute cell referencing. Now in the BCS syllabus, it talks about using functions. So we've used the first function today, which was sum, but you'll notice there are some other functions in there which are average, count, max, min. Those common ones you would be expected to know. So if I just, let's start on another spreadsheet and we will use some of those other functions. So here, the function that I want to use, sum, max, min, average. So let's type it, start off here, 5, 5, 5. So the sum of those numbers I get by clicking here, and I'm using the sum function. I'm going to type in here. We'll do count as well, so you can see how that works. Equals sum. Well, it's added those up. The sum of those is 15. Let's type three different numbers: 24, 22, and 56. Which is the biggest of those numbers? 56. So this is what the max function does. If I type in equals max, open brackets, of these, this time I've had to help it a little bit more, open brackets, B2 colon B4, it's telling me the biggest number is 56. And when I change that number, let's change this one to a bigger number than 56. Let's change this one to 62. It's actually altered and changed. Yeah, the biggest number here is 62. 107. Yeah, there's another one. Right, the next function we'll use is minimum. Let's save ourselves some time and copy those three numbers over. The smallest number is obviously 56. If I type in equals min, open brackets, and highlight these three, the smallest number is 22, not 56. I'm stupid, David. This one I'm going to make the smallest number 10 now. You can see in real time it's actually altering it and telling me what the smallest number is. Right, what do you like on averages in your head? 2, 4, 6. The average of 2, 4, and 6 is, I can work that out in my head, can you? Equals average, open brackets, of those three, D2 to D4, the average is 4. The average of 1, 2, 3 is 2. So that's how that one works. Now this particular one is the count function. And now this counts how many of these cells have actually got a number in them. So if I type in here, count, open brackets, and highlight this, and press enter, it says there are 12 numbers. Well, let's see what happens if that's actually true. So now we've got from here right the way down to there, 14. I start on that particular row, so that seems to be, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, it has got 12 numbers in. Let's take some numbers out and see what happens. Fine. So that is working, it's keeping that up to date. What happened if I put a word in here instead? That's good. So it's only counting where I've got a number in there. So there we are actually seeing it's just counting where I've actually got places where I've actually got a number in there. Okay, so having used each of these functions, I'm going to now set you some exercises to do, and if you can do the same thing as you did last week, which is just to send me them back when you've finished them. I like your comments. If you want to add any comments, I found this easy or that was difficult, just let me know, Hannah. Okay, thank you very much.